Chatters, chatties, welcome home for a Great American Chat, a podcast where we chat about great American media. I'm Chad Maurice, and I am honored to have in the house today host of the Great American Community Show, The Mindful Life. Please welcome Mahaila McKellar. Mahaila, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Now, before we talk about your little show that you have on the app there, I want to find out a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Sunnyvale, California. That's in Santa Clara Valley, now Silicon Valley. Yeah. And then I moved to Nevada because I was a professional dancer for a couple of years, got married, had my children, moved to Los Angeles, and now I'm in Tennessee.
Okay, yeah. So you were a dancer in Vegas?
In Las Vegas, in Lake Tahoe, and in Reno. Yes, a little bit in California.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were a Vegas showgirl, huh? That's pretty cool.
I was a Vegas dancer. There's a difference.
There's a difference. All right. And I have to ask, because of your first name, what nationality are you?
Well, it has nothing to do with I'm Portuguese.
Okay.
I'm second generation American born. My mother's family, her parents came over from the Azores, and my dad's came over from Madeira.
Oh, I thought maybe your first name was Hawaiian.
Well, on my dad's side, my grandparents, they left Madeira, went around the tip of South America and landed in Honolulu and stayed there for a few years, had a couple of kids, then came to California, had the rest of the family. So my dad had all kinds of cousins, aunties, uncles, and cousins in the Honolulu area, and wanted me to have a Hawaiian name. But instead of asking my family there for a name, he just made it up.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense, because I thought it sounded Hawaiian. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Now we have to talk
Yes.
about your two daughters. There we see Danica and Crystal. They were both on the TV show The Wonder Years back in the late 80s and early 90s. Danica, of course, was one of the stars of the show, playing Winnie Cooper, and Crystal had a recurring role playing Becky Slater. What was it like for you having two daughters on this high-rated national TV show?
Well, it certainly changed our lives. They'd been doing commercials and that kind of thing, and it was supposed to be just a hobby. And then when Danica got the role on The Wonder Years, that was actually supposed to be just a guest appearance. It wasn't supposed to be for a series, because we had a family rule: no TV series and no movies, nothing that would majorly change our lives. And halfway through filming the pilot, I got a call that the producers loved Danica so much, and the way she and Fred interacted on screen, they wanted to make her a series regular. And I literally said, "Can I get back to you?" Because but fortunately, by then, I had already gotten to know the other parents, the parents of the other children, and they had the same values that I did, as far as wanting the children to have a healthy childhood, good schooling, to put those things, to be responsible about the job and to show up for the job, but also to have a balance. And and Danica really wanted to do it. She loved it so much. She really wanted to do it. And I remember I went to my mother, like, "What do I do, Mom?" And she was, Mahaila, she really loves this. And if you don't let her, she's going to be unhappy, and she's just going to go anyway. So I said yes. Long story, I said yes, and the rest is history. And Crystal had actually tried out for for Winnie Cooper as well, and it had come down to between her and Danica, and they chose Danica more because she had the same color hair and eyes as Fred. as Fred Savage, and they promised to create a role for Crystal, and they did.
Oh, okay. Was Crystal upset that Danica got the role over her?
She was a little disappointed, but they were actually about to be. We were on our way. The night that this happened, we were on our way to a wedding rehearsal of a dear friend of ours, and so partway driving in the car, we consoled Crystal, and then we switched gears and celebrated for Danica. Yeah.
Now, I imagine you tried to keep life for them as normal as possible while all this was going on.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
that
when
was
you
challenging at times, because
was
the
it?
outside world tries to
Hmm.
pigeonhole you and push you in certain ways. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, I was going to ask when you went out in public back then, if they like went to the grocery store with you, would they get recognized?
yes, yes. I was
Yeah.
astounded. I had no idea. The Wonder Years, it premiered on a Sunday after the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
um, the a couple days later, we went to the local mall and we were in a bookstore, and people recognized Danica. I'm like, how did they recognize her from seeing her for like 5 minutes on this TV
Yeah.
show? Yes, yeah, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Now, if I remember right, Winnie was Kevin Arnold's crush,
Uh-huh.
and did Becky have a crush on Kevin? I can't remember right.
Yeah, she had a crush on Kevin, and then Kevin tried to
Hmm.
use Becky to make Winnie jealous. And then
Oh, okay.
when he decided he couldn't do that any longer and he broke up with Becky, Becky Slater, the famous scene where he taps her on the
Yeah.
shoulder and says, "But we can be friends." And she turns around and decks him.
Uh, yeah, I remember that Becky became like Kevin's nemesis
Yes,
after
from
that.
that
Yeah.
from that point on, yes, yeah, she tried to
Yeah.
ride over him with her bicycle in another episode.
Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. Crystal had the comedic parts of the show. Now,
yeah.
why did Crystal get away from acting?
She just, both of my daughters are brilliant in school and learning. And I kind of go, where did that come from? Anyway, Crystal started to focus more on school. And she also became a cheerleader at school. And it just became more
Yeah.
and more about school. And that was her focus. And then she went on to go undergrad at Yale. And then she went to Oxford to get her master's, and then Harvard Law School. So, and now
Wow.
she's a venture capitalist. She
Wow,
has her own.
Harvard. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Wow. That's amazing. Now, you mentioned your movie. Here's the spread that People magazine had about Danica moving from LA to Tennessee. And
Yes.
you made the move with her, right?
I didn't have
Yeah.
to. I was invited
Yeah.
to.
Uh-huh.
And
You were invited to.
I was. He was like, "Mom, we're going to move to Tennessee, and we'd like for you to come and live with us." And I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And so I was included in most of the trips to come out here and house shop, and I still have my home in Los Angeles, so I'm back and forth between the two places, mostly in Tennessee. Yeah. Yeah, they took part of their house and turned it into
Oh,
this
okay.
beautiful suite for me. It used to be the rec room well, a very nicely sized rec room in the home. And what used to be the wet
Yeah.
bar, they gutted out and made a kitchen for me because I love to cook.
Ah, yeah, that's great. Yeah, we'll talk about cooking later. But why did Danica want to make the move? What was that all about?
I think, I mean, I'm kind of looking at my windows here. It's to, going from the city and coming out to this rural area. And,
Yeah.
just the other night for the first time, I saw a deer. I was riding in the car with my son-in-law Scott, and I was like, I haven't seen any deer. He's like, you haven't? He goes, look right over there. And I realized this whole field. I was like, oh my God, it looks like a deer farm. So they really wanted more nature. Yeah, I think that was a
Okay.
huge part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, there are things you see in the country that you definitely don't see in the city.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
So because
speaking of country.
yeah, speaking of country, because your family is in the entertainment business, you've met a few famous people over the years. Here you are
Yeah.
with Dolly Parton, who I assume you met on the set of Christmas in Dollywood, the movie that Danica did.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my,
Yeah. What?
I've got goosebumps all over again. My heart's pounding. Yeah. She was just, my goodness. I mean, just what a beautiful, gracious, warm-hearted lady. I mean, and just making everyone feel at home and included, and just a ray of sunshine. She walked in the room and boom, it's like somebody turned a big light on.
Yeah, that's what I've heard about her, that she lights up the room when she enters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you've also met Betty White. There you are with Betty White. How did that come about?
Oh gosh, that was I forget the organization. The Wonder Years was being honored for something. Oh, I wish I'd known about this ahead of time. I would have looked it up.
That's okay.
There was this big to-do thing that we went to. It was a big present, but it wasn't. I don't think it was televised. That's horrible. Anyway, something that she did was also being honored, and it just so happened that we were leaving at the same time that she did, like out the back door down to where our cars were, and so I couldn't help it. I had to go over and just say how much I loved her. Danica was doing the same, and then he knew Danica, and then Danica, being the sweet daughter she is, immediately introduced me to her, and yeah, that was. I'm pointing at the picture. That was such a great moment. That was, yeah. She was amazing.
Yeah, that must have been fun. That must have been fun for you. All right, let's talk about the Great American Community app. You have a show on there called The Mindful Life. Tell me what that's all about.
It's about being mindful in life and being in the present moment and taking care of ourselves. So wellness and family and celebration, all that good stuff.
Now, how did you get asked to be involved in this?
I know immediately what a catalyst was that Danica's first movie on Great American Family, The Winter Palace, it was premiering on the weekend of her birthday. And so she asked me if I would like make a cupcake or something that she could put a candle in. And I took the opportunity to make this crazy cake, like 6-layer. Oh, okay.
There it is.
My goodness. So that cake, and they did, I think it was Instagram Live before the premiere, and Bill Abbott was part of it. And he, saw the cake and everything, and then immediately afterwards texted Danica and said, can we have your mother put the cake and the recipe on the website? So I think that was that. And then before that, I did do a couple of segments of Home and Family. One was for our chocolate Yule log, and the other was for a Christmas holiday ham. So I'm assuming that's how it came about. I don't know. All of a sudden, I had a phone call from Bill Abbott invited me, and I was like, oh my goodness, yes.
That's neat. I remember this cake. I remember when this movie premiered in January. I remember this cake. It was a big hit on social media. I remember.
It was a lot of fun. I actually, the one that I put, I made 2 of them. The first, let's see. Yeah, the picture you have. Yeah, the one with Danica is the first cake I made, and you see it's leaning a little bit. I'd never made a 6-layer cake before. The second one has cake towels in it, so it's not leaning. Because I had, in order to in order to create a recipe, a video of the recipe for the website, I needed to make the cake again because I hadn't documented the
Mhm.
first one.
Mhm.
And so I made the second
Mhm.
cake. I'm learning from the first one.
Yeah. Now the stuff inside, is that little pieces of round candy? Is that what that is?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I personally don't recommend eating it. It's all edible, but it's all just a lot of sugar and food coloring.
Yeah.
The rest of the cake and the frosting was all organic ingredients. So, for a dessert, it's
Uh-huh.
healthier than one that's not organic or that has preservatives and stuff because it's all freshly
Yeah.
made from scratch.
Now, have you been a baker your entire life?
Um, yes. Not to that extent, but yes. I mean, my mother did everything, I mean, of course, we're going back. I'm 76 years old. So when I talk about my childhood, we're going way back. And my mother did all kinds of baking. That's what we ate, what she made. They're, store bought. She considered that to be
Mhm.
a waste of money and something that lazy people do.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much, Of course, in those days, things were different. Again, I'm going way, way back, like 70 years
Mhm.
ago. So I watched
Mhm.
her. She used to let me help her with different things. And then once I was on my own, I started doing the same.
Mhm. All right. Now, what days a week do your new episodes get released?
They're doing they're shifting things around right now. So I actually don't know. They were on
Oh.
Tuesdays and Saturdays,
Mhm.
but, and I think they still are this month, but I think as of January, it'll be different. So, it's a new
Oh,
app,
okay.
so it's
All
always
right.
adjustments being
Yeah.
made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, did you have professional filming equipment to film yourself, or you using your phone, or what?
So,
Just using your phone?
I did upgrade my phone because, um, my old phone just didn't have enough memory and, it was really a struggle. So I did update my phone. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I was already enjoying social media. I got on TikTok at the beginning of the lockdown and just had a lot of fun on there. And I mean, for somebody,
Hmm.
I, I don't know, I have something like 17,000 followers, which on TikTok is like nothing,
Wow.
but I still
Wow.
established some relationships there. And yeah, so I was already having fun with that. So I had the ring light and, you know,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, and before that, I was
That's
on
a lot of followers. I've seen you before that. You were on what?
Periscope. Do you remember Periscope?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that that
Yeah.
that
Okay.
predated Facebook.
Okay.
Well, actually, Facebook Live was around, but you had to be a celebrity to use it. You couldn't just be a regular person. And then Periscope came out. Then I think IG Live happened, and then Facebook Live happened. So I was doing Intentional Tuesdays on Periscope, which was about meditation and spiritual
Oh,
things. And then
okay.
on Fridays, it was Pure Food Fridays, where I would do different recipes and just show how to make something maybe healthier than the average recipe would be, and talk about different
Oh, all
things.
right.
So yeah, so I
All
did that
right.
for
So,
years.
so you were a social media queen before social media actually existed, really.
I predate everything.
And I got to say, I've seen you dancing on TikTok.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, one of the
Yes.
segments on the Great American Community app is your journeys on Route 66. Was this on your trip to California to Tennessee?
Yes. Yes. Bringing my car out here.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Now you made friends along the way. You met the owner of this, what was this, a souvenir store?
Yes. Yes. Mary Beth Babcock. My great nephew Antonio lives in Tulsa, and he took us to dinner But before we got to the restaurant, he gave us a little tour of Tulsa and came by this place and said, "You've got to stop here. This lady actually had a dream where she envisioned this huge statue, and then she made it a reality, and it's become this landmark." And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's right up my alley, a woman of business and manifesting her dreams. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so we stopped there, and she was an absolute delight, and all kinds of fun souvenirs, everything about Route 66, everything was definitely that theme. And yeah, I just loved her. Really, really
Yeah,
enjoyed meeting her.
yeah, that's a very historic road.
Mhm.
Songs have been written about it, like you mentioned on your segment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, she converted an old gas station. Um, I wonder, because the 66 is up there on that sign. I'm like, did it used to be a Phillips 66 station by chance?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just looking at that now going, hmm. But yeah, and it so happened because we were there in October, she had this mask, a Halloween mask on the statue, so we didn't get to actually see his face in person. Saw pictures of it though in her shop. But yeah.
Now, another segment they have on there is talking about roasting pumpkin seeds. Every Halloween, I carve a pumpkin and I roast the seeds.
Uh-huh.
But I need to ask you, are you
Yes.
supposed I never boil the seeds beforehand. I just put them in the oven. Are you supposed to boil them beforehand or just stick them right in the oven?
Well, if you looked at my TikTok on that from last year,
Uh-huh. I did. I did.
that was my most viewed TikTok. 1.5 million views. I
Uh-huh.
was trying. I'd seen that people boiled them first. I never had, and so I thought, well, I'll give it a
Uh-huh.
shot. And so I did a TikTok on that, and oh my goodness, people just started, because on TikTok, when people start voicing their opinions and either agreeing with each other or disagreeing, it just pushes views way up there. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so when the producers at Great American Community said, "Hey, you got a lot of views on this roasted pumpkin seed. You should do it for us." I said, "Well, do you know why I got all those views?" It's because a lot of people didn't like what I did. So,
Oh,
yeah, I
oh,
personally didn't see any advantage to boiling them. So yeah, no. So I don't do that anymore.
so people were arguing with you about boiling them. Is that what was
They
going
were
on?
more arguing with each other in the comments. And I even started off by
Oh,
saying, "I've never done it this way before. I thought I'd give it a shot. What do you do? Do you boil?"
oh, okay.
So that just took off. Yeah. Pumpkin
I
seeds. Who knew?
got you. Who knew? Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, I love dates. You did a segment
Oh,
about dates and you stopped at a date farm, right?
yes. Yes. Yeah, we actually first stopped at a different date farm, which turned out to be just a big tourist trap. So while we were there having our breakfast, we looked up other ones and we saw that there was an organic date farm. And I called and I said, are you selling dates? We'd like to come and see your date farm. And the lady who owned it, Sarah Lynn, well, we're not selling right now. We're in the middle of harvesting, so they're not properly washed yet, et cetera, et cetera. She said, but if you want to come see the farm, come on over. I'm like, okay. And so we did. And as soon as we
Yeah.
got there, she she put these boxes together, like you see in the picture there with the dates. She put these boxes together. She gave one to each of us. She goes, "I can't sell you dates, but I can give you dates." And then she took us and showed us her whole place. And then when we got to where they were sorting the dates, she said, "Help yourself. Put as many as you want in your boxes." And we did. She was just absolutely, and she and her husband started the date farm 12 years ago, from scratch, planted the trees, all of that. And now he passed away a few years ago, and she's continued it. And she's my age too. I didn't know if I should say that in the video, but I was like, wow, this lady, she's really, I don't know. I loved her. I loved her too. She was great.
No,
And she
no.
keeps it all organic. She's got
Mm-hmm.
peacocks to eat the bugs. Yeah, very high standards. In fact, I've now ordered some from her, and because she ships them out. But yeah, so I've now ordered some from her. So I eat one every day, one of those dates every day.
Oh, oh yeah. I eat 3 or 4 dates every day. I love them. So,
Yeah.
when you're stopping and talking to these people, what do they think about you filming them? You ask them obviously if you can film them, right, for these
Well,
segments.
yes. I have to get the permission, and then because it's like a business thing or whatever. They sign a release, um,
Mm-hmm.
and they're fine. I mean, Sarah Lynn, she was quite the character because she said, "Well, I don't. Sometimes I say words that aren't so nice, so I don't know how much of what you said I'll be able to use." And I did have to work around that,
Ah.
but. And because when I was doing this, the app had just come out maybe the week before, not even a week before. So they
Oh.
didn't know what I was talking about when I said this app called Great American
Mm-hmm.
Community. You can look it up and
Mm-hmm.
see what we're doing. So, but yeah, they absolutely knew
Now,
that I was going to do it. Yeah.
yeah. Now there we see some cookies on the right. Are these like the cookies that people put like the Hershey Kisses in the center, except you have a date in the center?
No.
No.
They're actual. No, because I do believe it's been quite a few years since I made those. I made those when my grandson Draco was in his date loving phase.
Oh,
Pretty sure the cookies are sweetened also with dates.
with
There's no,
dates. Oh, okay.
yeah, either dates or
Okay.
date sugar. No refined sugar, no white flour,
Oh,
all healthy stuff.
that's
Yeah,
good.
they were so
Oh,
good. I kind
okay.
of wish he still liked them. He probably
Oh, that's
would.
neat. That's good.
They stopped being his favorite. Right, the vanilla cookies that are actually on Great American Community, if he's going to have a sweet, which he's not a big sweet eater, but if he's going to have, that's his favorite cookie now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, staying on the cookie subject, I did make our cookies for the Christmas at the Drive-In premiere, which premiered a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And Danica was on this helping you out, helping you make these.
Yes.
I got, and I don't know if you know this. Danica probably knows this, but the Christmas at the Drive-In has been the highest, most watched movie on Great American Family this year.
Oh, I did not know that. That's wonderful. That's
Oh, you
wonderful.
didn't
Yeah,
know that? Yeah.
no, no. I wonder if she knows. Does she know?
Yeah. It's
Okay,
had, what's that? Yeah, it's had the highest, the most viewers. Yeah.
cool. Well, it was
And
a
there's
good
only a
movie.
couple weeks left in the year. I mean, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yes, it was a good movie. Now, whose idea was it to make these car cookies for this movie?
Danica's. Danica wanted
That
the
was
cookies to be
Danica's?
in the shape of a car. Yeah, because the People magazine article would be coming out in time to help promote the movie. And she wanted us
Mm.
to be doing something, a family thing together. And so she asked me to make the
Hmm.
cookies. And she said, and I want them to be bright colors. And I said, well, then they can't be healthy. I mean, the cookies themselves are healthy, but I said, then, to get bright colors, you have to use food coloring and stuff. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I went to a local store
Hmm.
here and asked about advice on how to achieve it, and he recommended the fondant, and then Danica did the fondant part. I experimented with it a little bit, and I showed her how to do it, and then she's the one who actually decorated the cookies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Neat. It's always fun to have family members help out in the kitchen baking stuff.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I gotta skip over that one slide because we already talked about that. We got to talk about this. I know you also are a gardener, and I
Yes.
saw this video of you with the lemons. Are those lemons on the left there?
Yes. Those are lemons. Yes. Yes.
Those are the biggest lemons I've ever seen.
Yeah, those are, and it's the kind of
You,
lemon. They're not like a free growing. It's the kind of lemon. My mother had a dear friend, Mrs. Lombardo, her husband was actually, you probably, the Guy Lombardo, the big band leader way back from, a century ago.
Yeah.
His
Yep.
cousin, Charlie, was married to Frances. Anyway, when they came over to the States, I think from Sicily, I forget, but they were Italian, whatever. And she brought a stem of a lemon tree, grew the lemon tree. She gave my mom a stem of her lemon tree. My mother had that, and I grew up with that lemon tree. And then that one I took a stem from and planted a tree in my yard, and those are the lemons from that tree. So it's continuing on. And at some point, I don't know if I can do that here in Tennessee or not. I haven't gotten, to that point yet of figuring out gardening here. But I'm hoping to. Maybe I'll have to put it in a pot and bring it inside in the winter and then take it back outside in the summer. I don't know. But yeah, I love having, my apricot tree and the blackberries. The blackberry bushes I planted when Draco was born, because I wanted my grandchildren to know where food comes from, to actually be able to pick it themselves and eat it. I enjoyed that so much as a child. My parents we were on, I think, a half acre, and they have land, and they had this was in the Sunnyvale area. They had every fruit and nut tree you could imagine. And my mother always had a big vegetable garden. So going outside and picking food and rinsing it off and eating it, that was how I grew up. And I wanted my grandkids to have at least a little bit of that. So apricot tree.
Yeah, I don't know how the growing season compares in Tennessee to California. I'm guessing it's going to be a shorter growing season.
A shorter growing season, and maybe different things. I want to consult with before springtime. I want to consult here with like an organic gardening expert to learn all of that, because I'm not an expert gardener. I'm just hit and miss, but I've had a lot of years to hit and miss and figure out what works. So here I'm starting from scratch. So maybe a little helpful. Expert advice will help me out.
And I have to say, I love blackberries. I love raspberries. So I appreciate the blackberries in this picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I grow raspberries too, but I don't get as many. It's not as abundant as the blackberries.
Yeah. Now,
and
you are also what? Go ahead.
No.
What are you going to say?
Okay. So I was
going to say you're also a world traveler. Here you are at Buckingham Palace. And I was wondering, how many countries have you been to?
Gosh, I've never counted. Let's see. Well, obviously the UK, and I've been to all the different parts of the UK. So Wales and Scotland and England and Northern Ireland. I've gone to Ireland a few times. France, Belgium, Italy, Austria, Switzerland. Went to Bulgaria when Danica did a movie there. Went to Romania when she did another movie. And then Crystal and her husband took me to Iceland. I had read an article on an American Airlines magazine that people in Iceland believed in fairies, and that there was actually a fairy school there. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to go to the fairy school. And for my birthday, I forget which birthday it was, at least 10 years ago. This was before, I think, any grandchildren at all. They took me. It was like a 4-day in Iceland whirlwind tour, but the first day was going to this fairy school. And the best part of it was they went with me. They didn't just send me there. The three of us attended this fairy school and just learned all the folklore about it. And it was great. So anyway, so Iceland, Hong Kong, India a few times, Sri Lanka. I might be forgetting something, but that's the general. Yeah, it's kind of like when I did a little bit of international traveling when Danica and Crystal well, they went with me, were teenagers. And then once they went off to college, I flew the nest.
That's when you went out exploring, right?
Yes, lots of exploring. Yes, yes.
That's neat. Now, out of all these places, do you have a favorite place you've been to?
What just popped into my head is Avebury, which is in England. And there are stones there, similar to Stonehenge, but smaller and not, that's kind of dismantled. But the energy there is really incredible. I've just like sat near a stone for hours and just felt the energy and journaled. And I've sat in the crop circles, the real ones that happen. Some of them are fake, some of them are real in England. And then in Ireland, I had some amazing experiences there out in the country area. So yeah, my favorite spots coincide with what you might say are spiritual experiences that are, just surreal experiences that I've had. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Yeah.
And I know meditation is a big thing for you.
Yes.
Meditation is a big thing for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I started studying. I met Dr. Deepak Chopra in 1993 at a book signing luncheon and was just totally taken by his message and his energy, and started studying with him and did that for many, many years. And that's what took me to India and to Sri Lanka, and became certified as a meditation teacher for his organization in 1998. And yeah, it's been a wonderful journey.
Oh, neat. Now, you don't know, I'm sure you don't remember, but you and I actually met at Christmas Con in 2019.
Okay.
I had my mother with me, and you met my mother and I just for a couple seconds. But anyway, I wanted to know, are you going to go to the con this weekend?
I am. Yes.
You are? You're going to be there? Okay.
I am. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I love doing. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to say I will be there too. And I was just going to ask you, did you enjoy going to events like this with Danica?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, I guess she likes having me alone because she continues to invite me.
Now, she was also at Roma Drama in Palm Beach back in June, and I went to that event as well, and I saw her. And as soon as I saw her, I said, "Where's Mom?" And she said, "Oh, she didn't come."
Yeah, I can't remember. There was something that was conflicting because at one point I was going, and then it turned out that I couldn't make it. So, but yeah, I'll be at Christmas time. Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's always fun. I'm sure it's always fun for her to have you at those events.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm still, I can't help it, from being, a protective stage mom, and watching out for her. I'm like, even, if security's there, I'm keeping an eye on security to make sure they're doing their job. I can't help myself. Also, it's so much fun. I especially love it when the little girls or even teenage girls will come up to meet Danica, and they know her from her math books and or oh gosh, what's the thing she has on Netflix, where she plays the quail. I can't think of the name of the TV show, but anyway, it's a show directed toward young girls, and so these little girls know her from that, and they're just like, and she'll always say, "Do you like math?"
That's great. I'm sure it's fun for them to meet her, to meet the author of these math books that they've read.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right, we're going to end up here. I'm going to talk. I have some fun holiday questions for you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
What's your favorite thing to bake during the holidays?
My favorite thing to bake during the holidays. Um, these cookies I made with my mother. I still have the cookie press for it, my mother's cookie press, and they're just these little Christmas trees. You press them and put little sprinkles on them. Not healthy at all, except I do use organic ingredients. But beyond that, it's white flour, white sugar, and so but because
Yeah.
of the memories, that's my favorite thing to bake. Yes.
No, okay. That answers my next question. I was going to ask you what's your favorite Christmas cookie? It's probably that one, right?
To eat,
Yeah, to eat.
yes. There are a couple others I like, but yes, that's my favorite one because again, it takes me back to my childhood and my mom. Yeah.
Yeah. How about, do you have a favorite Christmas candy? I don't know if you eat candy or not.
I don't really eat candy. Well, I can take that back. Is it okay to mention a brand?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So C's candy. That was something my mother always got for us. And so that again, it's memory related to have
Ah,
C's candy at Christmas. And I get it. I find out everyone's favorite flavors and I get customized little boxes for everyone in the family.
what is that a hard candy or is it chocolate? What is it?
Yeah, it's chocolate candies,
Oh, okay.
what's another brand that like Brussels Stouffer is it that makes it? But it's that
Oh,
where
okay.
you
I got you. Yeah.
so there's nuts and chews and truffles and yeah.
Okay. It's an assorted box of assorted candies. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite Christmas movie to watch?
Anything Danica's in.
Oh, good answer.
It's true. It's true.
All right.
I record them and I just play them over and over again.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. You've been in a couple of her movies too, haven't you? As like back in the
In the
background,
background,
right?
yeah, Draco and I in the background.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think one of my favorites of hers was the Royal movie that she did,
Crown for
and I think
Christmas.
the yeah, I think movie.
Okay, you froze on. Oh, here I think you're coming back.
Oh, did I cut out? Oh,
Yes,
that Royal movie that she did. Were you in that one?
yes,
Yeah, I
Crown
thought
for
so. Okay,
Christmas. Yeah, in the very beginning,
Crown for
when
Christmas.
she and
Yeah.
her sister were coming into the hotel lobby to check in for work, you'll see a lady with a
Okay.
toddler in her arms checking out a Christmas tree in the background. So that was
Oh, it's you, huh?
great. And the producers were very
Oh,
nice.
okay.
After Danica walked out of frame, they kept the focus on us. So you actually get to see us. And I'm just,
Oh, I'll have to pay attention.
yeah, yeah.
I'll have to watch for that next time that comes on. All right. Now, does your family have any holiday traditions that you do every year?
Going and looking at Christmas lights. That's something we like to do. We just did
Oh.
that actually here a few nights ago. We went to, I think it's called Cheekwood. This estate, beautiful lights. I mean, usually in Los Angeles, it was getting in the car and driving to where we knew we'd find homes that were,
Hmm.
decorated. But here we went to Cheekwood and saw the lights there. So that's definitely a tradition. And then getting together
Okay.
any way we possibly can.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. Would you rather trim a tree or wrap gifts?
I like both. I mean, I don't know how I would choose. I really enjoy doing both of those.
You like
Yeah,
both? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Would you rather do one of those things or would you rather bake cookies?
You're making this so hard on me. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I would feel deprived if I weren't able to do all of that.
All of those things. Yeah.
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 Yes.
I think, yeah, I like doing all three, but I think baking cookies is probably my favorite.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting together with my mom and helping her bake the cookies. I think that's one of my favorite
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So where are you spending, what were you going to say?
I say sometimes Draco helps me with cooking and
Yeah.
baking. Yeah. Yeah. And that's really
Yeah.
cool when that happens. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I assume you're spending the holidays in Tennessee?
Yes. Yes. Crystal's coming
Yeah.
here with her family for an early Christmas. And then this year it's Draco's father's turn to host Christmas. So we'll all be joining, not
Oh.
all, but so then we'll be joining him for Christmas.
Oh, okay. 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 Well, the Mindful Leaf, the Great American Community app, access the app on the web, on
This,
mobile app, TV, Apple TV streaming devices. I think that's all, right?
the sound was cutting out, so I didn't hear, but it's on Apple and Android. I'm looking over here, Roku, Fire, Android TV, Apple
Right.
TV, and then you can just
Right.
go on the web to greatamericancommunity.com.
On the web, right.
So, and the app is continuing
Right.
to update
Right.
and get better. Now we can
Mm-hmm.
directly reply to people, which I'm excited about. I like being able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, Mahaila, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you. This has been fun.
Yeah, well, it's been fun getting to know you. Now, drop your social media handles so people can follow you. Where can they find you?
Mahaila McKellar, wherever. So I think you get my name is up there. So it's just at Mahaila McKellar. Mm-hmm. There aren't a lot of Mahaila McKellars in the world, so I didn't have to create anything like the real or the official.
And you're on.
I'm on Facebook.
You're on Instagram, TikTok.
Right? I'm on Twitter, but I'm not there very much.
Okay.
So, and then of course, the Great American Community.
Great American Community app. That's right. Yeah. That's right. And I am located at GAC TV Podcast and at Chad Maurice. Thanks again for being here. And thank you for being here, chatters. And until next time, you keep the faith, keep smiling, keep your friends close, and keep your great American family closer.
Mwah.